Okay, so today I want to show you something I've been building for a while now. It's basically a second brain for my whole business. Every offer I have, every SOPs, docs, every little system I run, every tiny detail about my business, all that used to sit just inside my head, and now it's all in one place. Every single AI tool I use can access it directly from the internet. And the biggest part of all this is Claude built almost this entire thing for me. I just sat there, told it what I wanted, had a few brainstorming sessions, and it built an end-to-end working system for my entire business. And by the end of this video, you're going to see the whole thing come alive. You will watch it pick up my real phone call and talk like an actual human. And you will watch it answer pretty much anything about my business in my own words, because it's trained on my data, right? And the whole system is really just 4 simple layers. I'm going to walk you through every single one of them so you can build this for yourself too with Claude, because right now your whole business is probably trapped inside your head, and I want to show you how to finally get it out to a second brain. So let's build it. Alright, now before I show you how it's actually made, let me quickly show you how it runs, and this is going to be an interesting build. This is the vault built with Obsidian, sales materials, offers, operations, client systems, guarantees, etc. All of my systems live inside this. But now watch what happens when I open the graph view, right? So look at this, every node connected to other node. This is my whole business living in one map. Every single thing is interconnected. So my whole second brain is mapped over here, interconnecting each other in this Obsidian vault. So now let me ask it something inside Claude Cowork. So all I got to do is give the access of that second brain Obsidian folder. I'm gonna give attach it and ask a question, something like, what's our onboarding process when a new client signs? I'm just gonna ask this question, and let's see Claude what it has to answer. It's checking my business vault for anything on related to client onboarding, which is my second brain. So this is the absolute thing which was there inside my vault, which I trained on. I mean, how the process looks like: access plus subscription, onboarding call, hand over the SOP, send the niche specific intake form, the audit. This is how we do it in our business, right? So let me ask another question. What's the pricing and what's included in the AI voice caller setup? So it just pulled the pricing detail from my second brain. Pricing 6,000 one-time setup fee, 1,500 monthly return. This is what we have, right? All this good stuff, like from my second brain, it's grabbing it. And you see again, it's telling me exactly which file it exactly came from. So this is the markdown file inside my Obsidian folder. So I think it's inside this folder, right? Pricing objection. So that's what it gave. This is the whole point of the thing. You can ask a question and you will get your answer, right? Now let me do the same thing for the chatbot, which is in our cloud, which can be hooked into any of your business, your Instagram page, wherever you are getting business queries. So I have built it in N8 and I'm going to show you. This is my brain retrieval agent, and I'm going to open the chat and ask the same thing. It's connected to my brain where all of my data exist. So I'm going to ask the same question: what's the pricing and what's included in the AI voice caller setup? Same thing, the pricing of Rapple AI is structured as follows: 6,000, 1,500, 1,500. And as I told, this bot can be plugged to our website. You can give it to your team or like wherever you want, right? And I hope you got my point. Like, one is on my laptop, one running on the server somewhere far away. But both of them know my business and they are connected to the same brain I trained them on, right? And that's the interesting part you're going to discover later. Now let me just call it. I do have access of this brain to one of my voice agent, so you can actually hear it speaking. I'm using Vapi's interface for this, so listen to this. I'm gonna talk to the agent and you're gonna understand how much context it has. So this is a test agent which I built in Vapi's interface. So I'm just gonna call this agent and basically ask some questions. Let's see whether it can answer. I'm just doing the call here itself.
Hey, this is the assistant for Rapple AI. What can I help you with?
So I just wanted to know what kind of offers you provide for a local business in Rapple AI when it comes to lead generation.
Here's how it works. We offer local businesses a partnership for mutual referrals. So you send customers our way and we send them yours. Plus, there's a reward for every closed deal, and you can track everything in a web app. If you want more detail, just let me know.
What's the pricing for Rapple AI?
Let me check that for you. The setup fee is $6,000, which covers the first 3 months of management. After that, it's $1,500 a month if you want us to keep running things. Ad spend is separate and goes straight to Meta, usually
All right. What's the guarantee you guys give?
Let me check that for you. Here's our guarantee. If you follow the system and don't close 3 deals in the first 90 days, we'll keep working for free until you get there. That means the monthly retainer is waived, but ad spend still goes to Meta.
Cool. That's pretty much it. That's how the agent answers to every question, and it's connected to the same brain, which I explained earlier. But there is a slight setup over here, which I'm going to explain down the line. Even this agent is connected to the same brain. But you might think I have it locally, right? The Obsidian brain is hosted locally. How this voice agent is accessing it? So here's the whole thing in one picture. Let's say this is your knowledge base and I'm training it to Obsidian Vault using Claude. From there, I'm basically pushing all the details to a cloud brain, which I'm going to explain later. And from there, all the AI agents are accessing it. So your knowledge, your vault, the cloud brain, and the agents on top. But honestly, none of what I just showed you is the interesting part. The interesting part is like how all of this knowledge got in there in the first place. Because I'll tell you a secret. I never sat down and typed all of this on my own. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Okay, so here are the 6 things we are going to build here, and I'll tell you honestly which 2 actually matters. So let's start. The chapter 1 is building the vault. So the first thing everyone gets wrong is the folder structure. Here's what I exactly did. So I already had this one skill, basically everything about my business written in one place. I just handled this whole thing to an agent, and I told it, you just go and read this and you decide how my brain should be organized. And look what it did. It read my entire business, and it designed the folder structure as you can see over here. It even wrote its own to-do list, like a proper plan for how it's going to build this out step by step. And I just sat back and watched everything, right? And now this prompt over here, this is the important one. I'll leave it on the screen for a few seconds. If you have the business DNA mapped like as a skill, you can just ideally give this prompt and it will pick up from there. So ideally what happened is like I just gave my business DNA and it gave the full roadmap, and using that roadmap I use this particular prompt basically. Take a look at it. It's there over here, and this is where it all started. Also I have a separate doc on this, like the building the entire end-to-end stuff. I'll put it in the description, you can check it out later. And also I have a good news for you guys. Like if you don't have any skill yet, I've created a repo in GitHub. These folders are already designed in it. So this is the repository. Just import it locally and give it to Claude. Put it in a folder and give it to Claude, and Claude will ask you questions based on it, and it's already designed in such a manner that Claude will build everything for you. So just go here and ideally download it as zip. If you know how to import it via VS Code, you can do that as well. Git clone URL is over here, you can do that as well. And yeah, Claude will take it forward from there for you. Ideally what will happen is like all the sales data, SOPs, marketing stuff, customer data you have, Claude will ask every single question it thinks is useful to train this brain on. Whatever it asks, try to answer it. I did the same thing over here. As you can see, it was asking questions. For example, if you see, last time a prospect pushed back hard on a setup fee, did the number actually move? Tell me what happened and what you said. If it's never moved, tell me that, and tell me what you do offer instead when someone can't stomach $6,000 upfront. This is ideally a objection question, like it's trying to understand how I'm gonna answer it. This is what I usually do in sales call. I just gave that answer to Claude, and Claude trained on that. It did the same thing back and forth. We sat and like did the brainstorming session for 4 to 5 hours. So it understood my business in each and every way. That's what Claude does, and it will train your brain based on the data you give. So the way it works is actually simple. Claude will ask you questions, you just need to answer them, and every answer become a note inside the markdown file, and Claude pushes and links it with the right folder inside the vault. That's mostly it. Like, answer whatever Claude asks you in a right manner. This is your main brain and it should be in its purest form. Like, if you put garbage in, you will get garbage out. So make sure that you are training it with the best material you have, SOPs, whatever you have. And honestly, the build is pretty simple. I just installed 2 to 3 plugins. They did most of the heavy lifting here. Even this Claude suggested me install these plugins. One is Data View. I think it's like basically used for querying stuff. It makes the Python and Java based queries easier for Claude. I think so. Like, I don't know exactly how it works. And the templater, it takes every answer and files it as a proper node in the right folder on its own. One more is the Data View. It builds these living index pages for me. So that's it. Those two quietly doing the boring work. And one more is Git. We will come back to this later. Remember this line because this is the whole video in one sentence. I did not decide what folder I need to have. I gave it my business and it decided by itself. Claude decided eventually. That's a pattern for everything I'm about to show you. But there's one problem. Right now, all of this is sitting in one folder in laptop. And that is exactly the problem, right? Because my AI agents cannot access it. My chatbots cannot access it. But they did access, like I showed you how the working system looks like. Okay, so now why local isn't enough? Let me explain why laptop is a problem. Because see, Claude on my laptop can read the folder on my laptop, but my voice agent, that's a software running on some other server, and my chatbot is the same thing, and even my team, they cannot access it because it's inside my laptop, right? And it's hosted on localhost, and no way the outside things can reach it. So ideally the knowledge is trapped. It needs to live somewhere the whole internet can reach, right? So we need a Claude brain. Once it's up there, my voice agent, my chatbot, my whole team, everyone can ideally reach the same brain. And the cheapest and cleanest way to do that is having a private repo. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to use Github for this. So think of Github simply as a second home for my notes, a home that my software can actually reach. So first you need to install Obsidian Git plugin for it, the same plugin which I showed you. This is the one you got to install first, and also you go to GitHub and you create a normal repo, create a new repository, and make sure to keep it private. You name it, you do all those stuffs. Now connect the Obsidian brain to GitHub with the plugin you just installed. All you got to do is come here and give the access to your repo. That's it. Obsidian Git will push all the stuff you have over here to your GitHub. It's pretty simple procedure. You can do it easily. So I'm gonna quickly show you how this process looks like. So if you have any doubts, just go through this document. It's already there. So it's pretty simple. The steps are over here. You create a private GitHub repo and auto sync it. So once you create the private GitHub repo, you create a .gitignore in your vault root. You just ask Claude to do this, and Claude will do it for you. And you initialize a push, go to VS Code and basically open that particular folder, like where your Obsidian folder lies. For example, mine, it is over here. I can open it like this directly. Select this folder and open the terminal over here and basically paste this particular command and type enter. My branch is up to date with the origin main. Yours will start, uploading to the Git. That's mostly it. And later you have the Git plugin over here. There are certain things to set it up over here. For example, I have given it in the sheet. You can refer it and do the settings accordingly. For example, auto commit and sync interval should be set to 10, auto publish interval, auto pull interval, pull on start interval. All this need to be set in the settings. You just do exactly as it's been told. So once you do that, your push will start automatically syncing to the cloud. And whatever changes you do will be synced to your cloud every 10 minutes. One more thing to remember, all I got to do is keep my Obsidian folder, the application open. Application needs to be running for the plugin to, auto sync automatically. So that's one thing. So let me just test this so that I can show you that how the, push happens automatically inside my GitHub with the help of my plugin. I'll try to update one of the files inside my second brain. So let's see how the push happens. So right now, if I see my Git repository, so as you can see, the last update has been happened 21 minutes ago. So let me push something via Claude and see like how the changes occur in my brain. So ideally what I'm trying to do is that do a minor change in the files of my second brain. Obsidian Git plugin will try to push it every 10 minutes to my GitHub, so that it should ideally appear on my Git hub, right? So I'm gonna say Claude that we have put a new offer for our old clients. If they give any reference, so we are gonna give a discount of $500 for them in their next retainer bill. So update this in the Obsidian folder, my second brain. So let me give this, and let's see, it should ideally push it to my brain. Absolutely, it added a new discount price, as you can see over here. This is the latest change it did, and let's wait automatically so that it syncs to my GitHub. I think the commit should come through by now. Let me refresh this. As you can see, so the commit came through, and all the details, whatever I just told, it just came through and it got synced to my GitHub repo. So my notes are backing up themselves automatically. Like whatever changes I do locally, it will get pushed, right? But I have to warn you about one thing. This is like one small setting caught me out badly. Backup intervals, like inside Obsidian Git, there is a setting called, I'm gonna show you backup interval, and by default it's sitting at 0. If you leave it at 0, it keeps committing forever, but it never actually uploads. So change it to 10. That's the main setting. Now we came to a stage where ideally anything where the internet connection can ideally access this GitHub repository, right? And the first thing we are going to point it at is N8N workflow. I'm going to show you how we do that. Before that, now we need a place to store all these notes, right? But in a special way. Right now we have this chunk of markdown files pushed to GitHub, but while retrieval, it's not that easy to retrieve them, right? I need my AI agents a way so that I can search by meaning, not just by matching words. So that's very important, and let me explain what I mean by that. Normally when you search, you have to remember the exact word you wrote, but here I can search for an idea and it ideally finds the right note even if I use completely different words. That's very important, and that's the magic we are setting up now. And for this we need Supabase. So we got to do some basic stuff before we set it up. So we need a Supabase project running SQL commands and edge function to embed all this stuff, right? So that it can basically pull the brain data and embed those inside our database in the form of chunks, so that while retrieving it, it becomes easier my AI agents to retrieve. Creating a Supabase project is pretty much easy. You just come here and click to new project, fill all these details, and you create a new project over here. You select the project name and whatever is required, and I already have my project over here. All I have to do is come to this particular SQL editor and run these 4 queries. So the first query is this one, second query is this one, third query is this one. So these queries I'm running for the tables, so that this makes the table store the text and searches it by meaning. So don't go much into this. Like for example, these are the particular tables I have. For these tables, I just ran those particular queries. So it created these tables in a meaningful way. And one more is edge function. So I created this edge function myself, but don't worry, I have all it covered over here. Like you just have to copy all this commands and paste it in the SQL queries, and it will automatically create the table for you. And you also verify it by this and you will get this output. So that's there. And coming to the edge functions, all you got to do is copy this particular code, and you got to create first a new edge function. You do it by coming here, deploy a new function, and it's via editor, and you will be having this chunk of unwanted thing. So you first delete this stuff, and basically you add a file and basically paste the code from over here, right? So this is the code. This edge function will help you embed the data inside database, and while retrieval, it will help you to retrieve it. So we are using an embedding model called Supabase built in GT small inside this edge function. There is no external API, or else you got to use OpenAI's embedding model for this purpose. So it's free in this case. You don't have to rely on an external model. And one more important thing is that you need to add the security layer. So come to this particular portion, you put a brain key over here. I can come here and edit the secret. So add a secret. So this will be used, remember this secret, it will be used everywhere, wherever you are connecting your agents. You need to put this brain key over there. I'm going to show you that later. Then once it is done, you ideally deploy your edge function. I already have an edge function over here. So the code, this is the code. That's pretty much it. Basically create a brain key, rest of the stuffs will be taken care. And one more important thing, you go to project settings, and also you need that I'm gonna explain later. So we will come back to this again in a while. The storage is ready. There's just nothing flowing into it yet, right? Now the question is, how do we actually fill it, right? How do we connect everything? And that's the N8N's job, N8N workflow's job, and we are going to discuss that now. So this is going to be our workflow, which does the pulling and pushing, like in the sense it grabs the new stuff, new updates from GitHub, and it automatically pushes all the new stuff to my brain, which is inside Supabase. Let me explain first the workflow, how it works. So every 15 minutes, the cron job will pull all the details, and this is my ideal Supabase URL. So first what I need to do is basically go to my project configuration, data API, and I will get my project URL here. I'm gonna copy this URL and ideally come here and paste it over here, right? And this is the brain function URL. You just replace this with your project URL, that's it. And this is my repo link, GitHub repo link, and the main branch. So that's mostly the configuration edit files. And this is the GitHub repo tree, in the sense like any new stuff which is being updated in this main folder will be retrieved using this. And I have set a GitHub credential type. So all you got to do is go to GitHub, basically go to the settings and developer settings, personal access tokens, fine grained tokens, and you generate a new token. Verify your email and you will get a token. And all you got to do is come here, and if I have to show it to you in the editor, this is usually what is happening, right? I should put my GitHub server username and the token which I generated from there, right? So that makes my N8N have the access of the GitHub credential. So that's one thing. So this is the indexing node. It get indexed hashes from Supabase. It's retrieving all the existing data from Supabase, and so that later we can compare what already exists and what new came through. That's this particular thing. And ideally you need to set up the Supabase API key over here also. Let me show it in the editor. So as you can see, it's using Supabase account. So ideally I need a project URL and service role key, which you will get from Supabase. So I need to go to project settings and API keys. So this is the secret key which I'll be using. I'll be copying this and using it over here, right? Service role key. So that's mostly it. And once you connect it, it will be connected. And this is a differentiator, in the sense it ideally checks the fingerprints of the existing files and only passes the files where some changes happened with the file, right? It does its job. There is a particular code and it passes it, and one by one all the data which has been changed will be sent over here. Like in the last iteration, like 9 changes has been happened. Each one went through this particular node. So this is a particular node that ideally downloads that particular file which has been changed. So for example, as you can see, this is one chunk of stuff that has been changed in the previous iteration. Same thing, it pulls all the things which has been changed. It ideally parses the chunk and passes only what data needs to be sent. and there is a chunk of code over here which does the job, and if it has chunks it will pass through, and if it doesn't have, it will come again and loop again. So out of 9 items, only 4 items passed, rest everything came through. So this Supabase function, HTTP function, which will try to embed all those stuffs in my Supabase store using the edge function which we just saw. 2 items, all this, like my edge function will turn all those chunks into numbers, which has its own meaning inside the database. So yeah, that's mostly it. And once it's done, it ideally builds the rows. So here it will try to delete all the existing old datas. When the new stuff comes, old stuff has to be deleted so that the database remains clean. So it does that job. And this ideally writes the new versions in. For example, this data went through. So that's what it does. Ideally, you don't have to go much in detail what's happening inside. It will do its job, and I'm gonna give the workflow as well for you guys. Yeah, that's mostly it. Technical part. Once it's done, all the loops are completed. It will come here and find orphans. It will ideally spot the nodes which has already been deleted but has some nodes in the database. It will try to find out if there is any. It will delete that orphan chunks as well. So end-to-end organized and like end-to-end synced. So that's what it does. Okay, so this is the code connection, and honestly this is where it becomes a bit technical, but stay with me. I'm gonna make it easy for you. Meanwhile, while setting this up, if you encounter any error with this connection, run it once and use ideally the Claude connection. You just have to come here and connect your N8N instance, and basically you can chat and understand what the error is. Claude will ideally go through the executions and try to understand what the error is, and it will try to fix the workflow for you. So it's pretty simple. Make sure to publish this workflow. So this is the one workflow which keeps the system updated all the time. When something has been moved locally, this workflow will try to update it. That's mostly it. And the data is finally live in Supabase. Now your chatbots, your team, your other agents, and everyone can access it ideally from anywhere. Your data will all come over here in the form of tables. Every table will have its own existence, its own connection and everything. So this is really helpful when you're retrieving something. That's the storage part where you are storing everything in a cloud, a database. And now I'm gonna show you one use case with the voice agent. Earlier we had a conversation with a voice agent. So we were using Vapi platform for it, and how that's been set. It's a simplest part, easy process. It's basically one tool definition we used. So it's one tool ideally that lets my voice agent search the brain in the middle of live call. So this is the tool which I have set inside Vapi. Just name it and give a description for it, something like this. And the important part is your server URL. You got to use the same Supabase server URL, just exactly like this. This is your project URL. Just I showed you like how it is in Supabase. And these are the keys which I had set it up over here. You have to put it in the header. That's mostly it. Your tool will be ready. I hope you got to know where the authentication setup is. For example, this HTTP headers, this values are from, it's the edge function value secrets. This is the brain key secret which you have set earlier. You just use the same thing over there. Use it exactly like this, X brain key and your value over there. Coming to the assistant, this is a rough assistant which I built for exactly this particular job. So this is the prompt. Ideally inside this prompt, I just told that call the particular tool. For example, I gave the access of this tool to this agent. This is a universal agent, right? I can give this tool access when I'm doing outbound call, when I'm getting inbound calls. I can plug this agent anywhere I want, right? This agent will be having access to all my sales and other data from my second brain, right? It's pretty easy. That's how mid-conversation agent will be having capabilities to access this second brain and answer accordingly. And one more important thing, I already showed you how it works earlier. Now let me try to trip it out and ask some questions that's not in my second brain. Let me ask something that's unrelated to my business and see how the agent answers, right? So let me talk to my agent now.
Hey, this is the assistant for Rapple AI. What can I help you with?
What's the refund policy in Rapple AI?
Let me check that for you. If you follow the system and don't close 3 deals in your first 90 days, Rapple AI waives the $1,500 monthly retainer until you do. The ad spend isn't refunded since that's paid directly to Meta, and the setup fee isn't mentioned as refundable.
So where you guys are existed, like where you guys operate from?
Let me check that for you. I don't have a specific location listed for Rapple AI, but they operate using online tools and handle everything remotely, working with clients through calls and digital channels. If you need their exact physical address, I can have someone follow up.
Absolutely. Thank you. See that it didn't lie. It didn't make anything up just to sound smart, right? It offered a follow up instead, that because it don't know it's not there in the second brain that our geolocation and other stuff, because we serve all over the world. So that is a system I can actually put in front of a real customer, right? Because it's reliable. It doesn't lie. That's a very important thing. Your AI shouldn't give misinformation. So there is one last piece, and I'll show you the whole system in action. You get new information and the Claude updates it in the vault, and it goes to the Claude brain and the agent picks it up. And one more good thing is that you can push the data from the agent back to the vault itself, right? So I just showed you how it updates itself basically end to end. If I push something to my vault, it will come back to my cloud in just 10 minutes, and from there agents can access it live. So that's the benefit. It writes the note into my vault, Git pushes it online by itself, and it then picks it up and feeds it into the brain, and now I can call my voice agent and ask about the same thing which I just uploaded. It will answer exactly, right? Let's do that actually. So let's ask about the referral thing which we just did, right? Updated. So let me ask the agent regarding that.
Hey, this is the assistant for Rapple AI. What can I help you with?
So I want to know what if I refer you guys? I'm already existing customer, and what if I refer you a new customer? Like what is there any benefit do I get?
Let me check that for you. Yes. If you refer a new client to us, you'll get $500 off your next retainer bill as a thank you for the referral.
Absolutely. That's what we updated, right? Whole price, whole referral stuff, which I updated like 15 minutes ago, my agent has access to it, everything, right? Now, I know some of you might be thinking something like, but Ankit, do I really want everything about my business floating online, right? Yeah, that's a fair question. So I'm going to show you exactly that. Like, it's not floating online. Everything is not online. I'm going to open you some, folders which basically are not online. For example, my operation folder. So as you can see, this AI index is false, which means that this note never leaves my laptop. So I have put a condition in the GitHub while uploading, wherever the AI index is false, that kind of files should not go online, right? So my Claude set this up for me. Claude knows which file should go online, which file should stay local. So some of the important stuffs I should keep local, and so that only I should have access to certain things. For example, also this knowledge. So here you can see the AI index is false. This file is not online. I mean, if I have to open one more 30 sales, this file is online. There is no AI index is false, right? So that's the main thing. And my contracts, my client financials, my half-baked private thoughts, I decide note by note what goes online and what stays with me. And you're always in control, right? This isn't just for me. Like tomorrow my team can ask it questions, my clients could ask it questions, because at the end of the day, the real asset is not the folder, right? It's just marked on file. The asset is knowledge inside it. That's where the value is. I'll say it one more time because this is the whole point. Almost every single piece of this was built by Claude, and I just described what I wanted, eventually fixed what broke with Claude itself. That is the actual skill right now. Just knowing what you want and being able to ask it clearly. And if you forget everything else from this video, just remember this one line, like the vault is the truth, right? Everything else is just a copy. This particular thing, that's the main source. Think about it. If the whole database crashes tomorrow, whatever you have it in your Supabase or anywhere, I can rebuild it in 10 minutes. If I switch it to some new AI tool next year, my Vault doesn't care. It's just folders with markdown files, and everything else you saw on the screen today, it's replaceable. The Vault, it's not. Now look, I've written this whole thing for you, like how to set this up and everything, every step, the code, the workflows, all of it. It's there. The link is there right in the description, and it's completely free. Go build it, and when you do, just come back and tell me in the comments. That's it from me for this video. I'll see you in the next one.